Just to be clear, there are more Joker changes than I'm going to mention here. These are just the ones I feel are truly worth highlighting. First off, the mad and clever Jokers no longer trigger on 4 of a kind, but 2 pair instead. This is nice because they really weren't amazing Jokers to have when you were online for 4 of a kind, but the new Jokers could be really solid for early to mid game. Yorick was garbage before. You needed to discard so many times to get Yorick online, and that's a long time to have a Joker that's useless. If you can get it online, great, but for me, Yorick always showed up late game and I could never even think about getting them online. The new version not only starts to go online far faster, but continues to scale up. Instead of it being 23 instances of discards to get an X5 malt, it's 23 cards discarded to get +1 X malt to the card, meaning every 23 times you discard those cards, it gets bigger. It starts getting online far earlier, which any bonus from it is a huge benefit compared to what it was, because it's not just taking up room, but then as the game continues on, it can continue to just get bigger and bigger. Overall, it's just a great change. Swashbuckler is another simple but great change. Before, Swash only cared about stuff to the left. Now Swash loves everyone and gives you plus malt equal to the value of everyone. X-Malt Jokers tend to be some of the more valuable Jokers, but they love to live on the right. So this allows you to include them and allow Swash to be multiplied by the huge buffs that X-Malt Jokers offer. Next up's Hanging Chad. This one's a simple change, but there's a number of amazing things you can do with it. Instead of activating the first card one more time, it now does it twice. And that second time can be quite powerful depending on what you're doing with it. You can trigger various effects again, such as allowing a single glass card to now count 3 times. You have something in your Jokers that trigger on play that also gets to go off 3 times. It can just stack interestingly. I will also quickly note any of the Jokers that grow that started with a bit of a bonus now start at 0 to streamline them. It does mean all of them got a bit of a starting nerf, but Runner at least got chips per play increased as well. All of the Sinful Jokers, aka the ones that give you plus malt for playing cards of a given suit, the ones that flush builds love, all got nerfed, going from +4 malt per card played down to 3. That being said, I've continued to play with them enough to say, while the nerf's a little sad, it doesn't actually hurt that much. They're still solid cards early on, and with proper use of stuff like glass and steel cards, they're still decently useful. I heard that this move was more to discourage people from playing so many flush builds instead of these cards being overpowered, but really, if you think about it, they're common cards, and they were quite strong for common cards. Campfire was nerfed pretty hard, giving plus 0.25 X malt instead of 0.5 X malt per card sold. This feels like a big nerf, but really, if you have good econ going and planned properly, Campfire is still strong instead of absolutely ridiculous. Bloodstone was changed decently. Before, it was a 1 in 3 chance to give 2 times X malt per heart card played. Now it's a 1 in 2 to give 1.5 X malt. For a little bit in the beta, it was 1 in 2 for 2 times, but that proved to be a little bit too strong. Even after reducing it to 1.5, on paper, this still works out to a small buff on average, and it's just in general less swingy. Yes, it has less upper potential if you hit all of those times 2, but it also means that you just need to pair it with the 6's Joker to guarantee a Heart Flush will get 1.5 X malt. Invisible Joker now is a bit cheaper and only needs 2 rounds before it can be sold for its effect instead of 3. This will help it going off quite a bit. Finally, I want to highlight Lucky Cat. Since Magician now gives 2 lucky cards per use instead of 1, Lucky Cat already naturally got a buff from that. But Lucky Cat also now gains 0.25 X malt per proc instead of 0.2. I haven't been quite lucky enough to test this in practice yet, but I've heard some stories, and I've kept count of my lucky procs while doing some lucky builds. And I can safely say that a lucky build feels like it can be quite viable now. Before it was too swingy, too hard to build up lucky cards, and questionable if Lucky Cat would build up fast enough. But with both changes, Lucky Cat should be a nice X-Malt source now. If you can get the darn cat to show up for you, that is. That being said, lucky cards themselves aren't that bad to play, they're just quite swingy. And those are the Jokers I think were worth highlighting. There were other changes as I mentioned, but these are the ones that I think are really worth paying attention that changed decently from previous patch to post-patch, that are worth, really noticing during your runs, as ignoring some of the changes might cause you to not get as many points as you wanted for the ones that got nerfed, or, just ignoring the changes might make you overlook a Joker that's actually pretty decent now. Not that anyone's really going to overlook a legendary Joker like Yorick, but it was still very much worth mentioning that Yorick's not bad anymore. Anyway, until next time, stay well.